John James is going to punt it over again here at Atlanta. Man was downfield too quickly, Paul Rysick. That's the reason he got there, just be about a yard ahead of the football.
You get started quick enough, it's easy to get down there.
That's right. And you do it all over again. Detroit is now in the Jets' 20-yard line on a fumble recovery. John James now stands back inside his 25-yard line. Clark Gaines fumble, a punt for the Jets. Jets holding. Oh, look out here, and James, a good athlete. If he gets this away, he gets the award.
Oh.
He does not. He did very well. Denver did not get the ball inside the 20. John James goes up, fields the ball with one hand, and Steve Watson fields it. Makes the hit on James, and there's another penalty marker down. And you know which way Atlanta's hoping this will go. And Steve Foley says that's our penalty. It's against them.
Denver's got the first real big turnover in the ball game, and it comes from a rookie, Steve Watson, out of Temple. He's a free agent. Larry Evans forced a big play. Larry Evans getting off on the ball, getting close to James, forcing him to make a move out of the way. That's fine. But watch Watson come in after he does that. He knows he might get in the action. Clean hit on James. Give him any room, he might punt it. Now they've got the ball on the 19.
Rysick's snap was high. So now the Denver Broncos get a break, and they challenge at the 21-yard line of Atlanta with the game tied 10-all in the third period. 9:28 to play. They go to the run. Here's Jensen, the big back, takes it down to the 15-yard line. He got 5. Knocked down by Jeff Yates, number 79. Yates, Mike Lewis, Edgar Fields, and Don Smith across the defensive front of the Falcons. Fulton Kuykendall, Robert Pennywell, and Greg Bazina back the line with Lawrence and Bias at the corners. Reed and Easterling are the safeties. Let's see what Norris Weiss goes to now as he brings the Broncos out of the huddle at the 16-yard line of Atlanta. Second back through is Lytle. Not much there. He did get a couple down to the 13-yard line. Now the third down comes up, and in the past in these sequences, John, we've seen Norris Weiss go to that play fake.
We have. I don't think we'll see that this time. He's got his offensive line moving Atlanta's defense in the toughest of circumstance. They've only got a little over a yard, maybe, well, close to 2 yards to go for a first down, but there has been no deception on either play. The right side of the offensive line moved people out both times.
Denver a lot of times will pull their guards and then cut them right back upfield. They won't go wide. They'll just run sheer power at the defense. Weiss is going to pitch. He's got a man there. Rick Upchurch takes it, puts those 2 feet down, and gets the first down. Reception at the 7-yard line of Atlanta.
Strictly a timing pattern. I thought they'd go over the right side of the line again. Maybe Atlanta figured the same thing. Anyway, Upchurch ran a perfect pattern. Weiss delivered the ball at just the right time, and they've got a first down on the 7.
Now we see McLean coming into the Atlanta defensive unit, 52, and his specialty is blitzing. They pull Lewis. They go with 3 down linemen, 4 linebackers. Bring those linebackers into the gap. Give Weiss something to think about. They might be coming.
He tries that bootleg again.
He calls his own number again, and Norris Weiss is down to the 2-yard line. You recall that went for the first touchdown of the game on it. Denver's first possession when they drove 88 yards off the opening kickoff.
These babies are usually good one time a game. You see, McLean knows they're all coming at him. Most of the defensive linemen think the same is true. Easterly makes a pretty good stop after a gain of 4. That's an awful good play down there, but very few quarterbacks can make 6 yards out of this play. It looks like a broken play. Brazina's not having any of it. Easterly has to make the stop, and they've got a 2nd and 2.
Denver challenging at the 2-yard line, and Weiss calls another bootleg, and Weiss is into the end zone. Touchdown, Broncos.
Thank you very much. That's why Red Miller's got him playing today. He's shown he can throw the ball, he can roll out. Miller is calling plays exceptionally well with this man's ability doing the execution. But you look at Glassick come out. He grabs a hold of Lawrence and says, "Come here, big fella, let my quarterback get in the end zone."
Now we watch again Norris Weiss rolling out. Guards get out in front. Get all the help you can from your friends here, and Norris Weiss puts his head down and takes Lawrence into the end zone with him.
That's a dangerous play down there.
Jim Turner converts the extra point, and so the Denver Broncos open up a 17-10 lead. We have 7:11 left to play in the third quarter. When we come back, the Falcons, looking down at the moment, will have the ball back. 20 to Falcons.
That was weird. It looks like he was kicking into the wind, as you mentioned, but that's as far as I've ever seen Turner kick a ball. I've played down there, and the wind does swirl, but I didn't know it swirled that much.
In the third quarter now, the Jets holding on to a 14-7 lead over winless Detroit at Shea Stadium. The Jets with 2 touchdown runs from Kevin Long. New England now up 14-0 over Cincinnati, as we mentioned. Quarterback Ken Anderson went out with a bruised kidney in that game, and Jack Thompson's in a quarterback for the Bengals. Markowski goes to Bubba Bean, and he weaves his way ahead for about 4 yards. Did well to get that. Denver linebackers fill so quickly.
Well, Bubba Bean, you love to have a back that complements what you do. Now, we haven't seen William Andrews with a weakness. He does his best at blocking. He keeps his head up. He tries to give Bean at least any added advantage he can. Bean is an outstanding back. With another one to go along with him, I think it'll help immensely.
And Andrews will hit anybody. Just put his shoulder into his teammate Pat Howell because he was in the way. The heck. Whatever it takes. Andrews carries. Going to be short of the first down. It'll bring up third and about 3 now for Atlanta. Gifford Nielsen, who's starting down at Houston because Dan Pastorini's out with a jammed shoulder, just threw a 24-yard touchdown pass to running back Tim Wilson. The Oilers lead the Kansas City Chiefs 14-6. And even as we speak, more scores develop, John.
Philadelphia, I guess Tony Franklin kicked his 3rd field goal. They're leading New Orleans 16-7 in the third quarter.
3 wide receivers out now for Atlanta. Pitch back goes down. Let's see if he can throw the ball. No, he's going to run it. Puts his head down. But the Denver Broncos, Bernard Jackson wins the matchup. The knockdown is made. It is short of a first down. We'll watch William Andrews on that run.
Well, when you start playing Denver's game late in the third quarter or the fourth quarter, they seem to tighten up some. Andrews is doing all he can, but the going's getting mighty rough.
Our producer here today at Atlanta is Larry Cirillo. Our director, Harry Coyle. As John James drops back now inside his 15-yard line. And Rick Upchurch could have good field position when he takes this punt. It's a high one downfield. Moriarty's running hard to get a shot at Upchurch. Upchurch loses him. Turns the corner. Beats a linebacker, gets a great block, and all of a sudden the Falcons hem him in, and down he goes at the 20.
That's impressive special team play, because that ball was kicked out of the area of coverage. When Upchurch got the ball, he tried to take it, make a big play out of it, and he's made so many. Atlanta's guys were hustling after him, forced him back, and it looks like they also created a penalty.
The Jets punted, the Lions fumbled, and the Jets recovered on the 27-yard line. People are having trouble holding on there.
Hard to keep track of who's got it.
Jets are leading 14-7. Penalty markers down all over now, and the return could have a clip against Denver. Minnesota, perhaps on the verge of an upset of the Dolphins, leading 9-0 at Bloomington, Minnesota. Tampa Bay now out in front of Green Bay 7-3. First time they played down up at Green Bay. Packers just had Tampa on the board, and they said the next time Green Bay comes down, we're just going to put Green up. Houston leads Kansas City 14-6. Holding on. Jerry Eckwood ran 40 yards for the Tampa Bay touchdown. He's the rookie from Arkansas. Playing real well behind the blocking of Ricky Bell. Right now we're going to have a repunt.
What I thought, Don, was that generally when you find a man coming across the grain like that, you'll find a penalty from the offense, the receiving team. This time, however, they have made a judgment. It is not finalized yet. Atlanta seems to think they should get to keep the ball down here. The Broncos are already lined up at the previous line of scrimmage, so that we've got quite a separation of personnel at this time, and they haven't put the ball anywhere.
Broncos, you can be pretty sure, John, did a lot of planning, a lot of offensive innovation implemented in this game after the Los Angeles game. They've been very conservative. They've won with defense the last 2 years. Red Miller has been at Denver for 2 years. They've won the AFC West both times. They did it with defense, but now it appears they're going to open up their offense a lot more. We've seen a lot from Norris Weiss.
I'm going to be interested to get this decision because there must be 35 players on the field. They've got to reduce that number to 22.
Personal foul. Clipping, number 43, receiving team. Personal foul, late hit on the kicking team. They were both after possession had occurred. There will be a double foul. Receiving team will keep the ball.
Think these guys don't know the rules?
I'll tell you, it does take you a bit of time to sit down and distinguish. Now, had that been a 5-yard penalty, that would have been nullified, and then the 15-yard penalty would have been in effect. And they've got plenty to do during the week. I don't know what their jobs are, but
I'll tell you one thing. You ask them the hardest question you can figure out, now you have the answer for
right
it.
like that.
Pat Leahy just kicked a field goal for the Jets, and they're out in front 17-7. Nick Skorich and the National Football League officials. One of the heads is down here today. Right now they start up in Atlanta, sold out Fulton County Stadium. Wants that defense to get back the football for the Falcons. Atlanta trailing in the game 17-7. Norris Weiss goes to the run from the 20. Doesn't get much. Everybody at NBC and everybody from the Atlanta Falcons organization all around the league wants to send the very best out to Bob Peck, one of the most popular people in the league and certainly one of the finest public relations director. He's in St. Luke's Hospital in Denver, a longtime public relations director for the Broncos. So, Bob, to you and everybody out there, everybody's thinking about you.
It's the first game you've missed for a long time, Bob. But get well quick, pal.
Norris Weiss. As we have a threat of a blitz from Frank Reed. You don't know what these Falcons are going to do. They send guys jumping all over. Weiss stands in. Edgar Fields missed him, and Norris Weiss is hauled down just short of the 25-yard line. Brazina got him. Atlanta's going to start to do tricks now on defense. They want back the ball, and they're going to start.
You bet. We mentioned before this game started that Atlanta is a big play defense, both again and for them. So far today, they have stayed rather standard. They haven't shot their safety man very often. When they have, the Broncos have taken pretty good advantage of it. They've thrown the ball outside the church to Upchurch, and they've been able to pick up first downs in key situations, so they've gone away from it. Right now, they're going to have to get back to it.
The score is 17-10. The Denver Broncos in orange have the lead in the football. 3rd down and 6 coming up. Weiss calls his own number again. Now give him a watch. Goes to Lytle, and he gets out across the 25, and the Broncos will have to punt to the Falcons. Edgar Fields slipped the block, made the stop. 3rd quarter clock winding down, 3:10 to play, and we pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
KOA TV for Denver.
Luke Prestridge is back to punt, and back to receive for Atlanta is Dennis Pearson. The good snap. Well, a bad snap was the turnabout in the second half as Denver capitalized and subsequently scored off a bad snap to John James. Here's Pearson trying to turn the corner. Out he goes to the 35-yard line. Next Saturday, it is NBC's Sports World with FINA World Cup diving. Many of the world's top international divers gather for one of the major meets on the world diving circuit. Teams from 16 countries will compete. Gold medal winners like Phil Boggs from the U.S. You'll also see the great Greg Louganis and a Soviet to watch who's going to be a factor in the next Olympic Games, Vladimir Alenik. He's a great one, they say, and could challenge for gold at Moscow. You'll also see USAC dirt car racing. That's next Saturday on NBC Sports World at 5 o'clock Eastern Time, 2 o'clock Pacific Time. Hand off to William Andrews, puts his head down and moves the ball out to the 38. Looks like pretty soon we're going to see Bartkowski go to the big play, John.
Well, I think he's going to have to do it in run-pass situations to be effective against Denver. That's the way they did it early in the ball game. Sometimes, you know, you reach into your bag of tricks, but once you've reached in there a few times, there are plays that are only going to work once. I didn't see that the case in the first half with Atlanta. I thought they used very basic stuff. Their receivers were running excellent routes. They haven't gone to the air as much as I thought they would.
It is 2nd down and 8 now as Bartkowski takes the rollout drop, sets himself, throws on the run. He's got a man, and he catches the football, but not long enough for a first down. They have another down on the sequence. Wallace Francis came back. That was a little bit shaky.
Still an awful good play. Bartkowski's made some plays today that a lot of people didn't think he could make. He made one with people draped all around him. This one, he's made the play. The play is covered, all right? Now he's got he's got Grant all over him, and he still has enough left to throw the ball, lead Francis in the right spot on a tough throw. We mentioned Francis, 4 catches, 68 yards, just another day at the plant.
Business as usual for Wallace Francis. He's been coming on the last couple of years. Bang! Ricky Patton went in and back from Georgia. And Randy Gradishar put a knock on him that he'll think about till Tuesday.
Okay, now Gradishar has been getting beaten on occasion today, and that doesn't happen very often to him.
He didn't lose that one.
Here we've got a crucial situation, and does he suck it up? He's got the man trying to handle him in front of the line of scrimmage, stops the play cold, and forces a turnover.
What a hit. Gradishar might be a little wobbly.
Well, I don't know if he's wobbly, but the guy he hit certainly should be.
That was the hit of the game right there. That's the best we've seen today. We've seen some good ones. 4th down. James will punt again. Gets up another good one. Upchurch says, he's not going to take this one back. He fields it at the 8.
A little 5-second hang time on that job, Don. So when you can put the ball up that long, it sure helps your special teams.
Something you always have to consider about the Falcons. They're young. They haven't got anybody that goes to the Pro Bowl or any of the All-Star games. Not yet, but they got a few guys that play like it. But they always think they're going to win. Lehman Bennett, when he's asked to characterize his team, he said, well, we're young, they're enthusiastic, and they believe they'll find a way to win.
Well, Denver feels the same way, so we're in for a pretty good finish.
Denver's been winning now for the 3rd year that they've been a winner. Noise is going to be a factor for Norris Weiss to contend with as he calls his snap count. Rob Lytle looking wide. Gain is out to the 25-yard line, or out to the 15-yard line. Don Smith came up to make the tackle. There's a holding call going to go against the Denver Broncos in this play, John.
And while they're marking it off, the New York Jets seem to be coming back to the National Football League. They're playing a pretty good Detroit team, 17-7 in the 4th quarter. You know, fans know what's going on. That was a very big penalty. Instead of a 6 or 7 yard gain, they lose 5. They're inside their own 5-yard line, and the people are coming back to life.
Number 60, offense.
Paul Howard, the right guard, was called for holding on the play, and so now the defense chant comes up here in Atlanta. The Denver Broncos with a 17-10 lead, huddling their end zone. 38 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. We've got a long way to go in this one. The way they play here, it could go to OT. You don't know. Weiss can be 1st down and 15. Colton Kuykendall came up from the linebacker. Pennywell also on the stop, along with Edgar Fields. It'll be 2nd and long. Jensen on the carry straight ahead. They're just looking for room to operate.
These people are filling this stadium. I'll tell you, it's sold out for the next 3 ball games. A lot of fans in Atlanta.
Wasn't that long ago they used to boo here in Atlanta. Now you hear his cheers. Somebody wrote when they were booing all the time, the boos make the Falcons feel bad and they disturb those who've dozed off. No more boos in Atlanta. That kind of boos.
Hey, fans are with you win or tie, and I don't blame them.
That's it. All right, we're going to take a break now as the 3rd quarter comes to an end. We'll be back in a moment. We're going to give you that address again, and so you can get a pencil and paper to write it down. We'll give it to you in just a moment as the Denver Broncos break the huddle. The ball is 2nd and 11. Spotted at their 7-yard line. Broncos are leading 17-10. Falcon defensive linebackers jump into the gaps now. Brazina moving in and out as Weiss looks over his set down and sends Haven Moses in motion. Lytle runs. He's got some room, and Rob Lytle is out to the 13-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down and about 4. Brazina wants to hit somebody.
Well, I think they all do if they can find the right one. But Greg Brazine has been an outstanding linebacker for a long time, playing on a rather weak team. But now he's got people to go with him. I think recognition that he's deserved for the last 7 or 8 years will finally start coming his way.
Lehman Bennett says he is the key to our defense. He stabilizes it. He gambles, but he knows when to gamble. Bolton Kuykendall, they say, didn't make All-Pro, but he played like one every game last year. They think he's as good as there is on the outside. 3rd down and 4. They go to Otis Armstrong. Takes a look, cuts back upfield. Denver didn't get there. They'll have to punt.
This is where you get the personality of Red Miller. He is putting it right to his defense. He's not taking any chances. Earlier in the ball game, they may have thrown out of this situation. But the game is in balance right now, and he is going to rely on his defense when it's close. 3rd and 4, they're going to run the ball, punt it out, and D's hold them. I don't know if they can today, but that's what he's got in mind.
I think he does with a 17-10 lead in the 4th quarter. He's going to rely on what brought him here and what brought him to 2 consecutive AFC championships, the Denver defense. The Orange Crush, 13:30 to play in the game. Broncos by 7, but now the rookie Prestridge is inside his 5, gets a low snap. He'll get it away, line drive, but this will come back at Denver. Pearson, that little dance, crosses midfield, penalty markers down. We could have a clip against the Falcons.
Hey, that Pearson shows me a bit. I know Rick Upchurch is in a league all by himself, but Pearson's matching him play for play today.
Now that Olympic address again, so you can send your tax-deductible contribution to help our American Olympic athletes. U.S. Olympics, Post Office Box 1980T, Cathedral Station, Boston, Massachusetts 02118.
That was a big penalty, Don. And while they're marking it off, Jack Thompson, the kid from Washington State, Cincinnati's first draft choice, ran one in from 14 yards out. It's 14-7. He finally got Cincinnati on the scoreboard. New England still ahead.
Personal foul, clipping, team.
Mike went out. Guy got lucky. Nobody knows who did it.
I think that's a good deal. If I'm the official and it's a real key play, I think I might forget the man's number.
We're going to have a lot of action down the stretch here in Atlanta as the Falcons have the ball. 1st and 10. There's a break in the action. We'll be back in a moment with Denver in the lead, 17-10. The crowd, I was out, John, at the Denver Broncos opening booster lunch, and he takes questions from the audience. First guy said, Red, if I were you, I'd have cut half the guys you kept and kept half the guys you cut. And Red said, well, I pronounce you a head coach. The guy said, wait, I'm not done yet, Red. Said, yes, you are. Coach can get fired. You just did. He gets right in there every week and listens to the fans. Here's what they had to say. And here's Bartkowski swinging it in the flat. And Patton heard some footsteps, lost the football. Steve Bartkowski cooling off now. He's gone to the run more. He was extraordinary in the first half. During one stretch, he completed 10 of 11.
I'd say right now he's 13 for 16 for 158 yards. That's a fine day, but if your team doesn't have more points at the end of the afternoon, it all goes for naught, and he's in a very crucial drive right now.
Andrews has caught 5 for 35 yards. Francis has caught the big yardage plays. He has 4 receptions for 68. Bartkowski takes a look. He's looking at Jenkins. Three hands Alfred Jenkins has.
That's the best throw he's made all day. I don't know if he pulled the string at the last moment or not. But he had to throw that ball just as Jenkins turned around the corner. He pulled the string a little bit, got it over the head of a linebacker. There were 4 people in the area. Look at that. He had to get it over Gradishar, who's in a perfect position. Foley's coming back in. Lewis Wright's on attack. Look, it doesn't look like there's any play here. It was a big time to make a big play, and they put it together.
Alfred Jenkins was out last year with a broken collarbone, and now the Falcons start to move the ball at Denver with the run. This is Patton, a Georgia running back, moving the ball inside the 40. And again, we have a penalty marker down that stops the clock with 12:27 to play in the game. Benny Ricardo just kicked a field goal for Detroit. Jets lead 17-10. Here's some more scores as they come in. Here in Denver, that's the number we have, 17-10. New England leading Cincinnati 14-7 at Cincinnati. New Orleans holding to a 16-7 lead over Philadelphia, leading New Orleans in the 4th quarter, 16-7.
Cleveland's coming back again.
Yep. They've been tough late.
Right side of the line, offense.
Right side of the line. Could be any one of three guys, Mitchell, Bryant, and Howell.
Usually it means they lined up, you know, over the ball, because I could see no movement. It didn't look to me as if they moved that way, but if you line up, it's still offside.
It'll make it 1st and 15, so Bartkowski will operate from a deficit now on 1st down. Could be throwing. Goes to Andrews, and Don Latimer, the middle guy for the Denver Broncos, red. Got an arm out, and he got Andrews. Latimer's played well.
He has been after it since down 1. That play went for about 16 yards in the first quarter. It was shut down for a short loss on that play, and actually this is the best that William Andrews has been handled in his short career.
Yeah, he's not going to get 100 today the way it's going. But you don't know, because we've got a ways to go yet. 11:52 to play. 17-10 Denver leads as Bartkowski sprints out and looks deep. Jenkins is out there, but the ball is overthrown. Alfred Jenkins turning out, and that'll bring up 3rd and about 17. That's a tough down, isn't it, for a quarterback?
It is. Bartkowski's hit 14 out of 18 for 177, but it's not the indicator. He has not really missed anyone that's open. That ball, he did not intend to get to the receiver once it was covered. Larry Evans got right in the path. He had to throw it over the top of his head, and all 4 of his incompletions have been of that type.
This is Tony Franklin Day at New Orleans. He's kicked 4 field goals for the Eagles. They're now in front of the Saints 19-7 in the 4th quarter. Barefoot kicker from A&M. Bartkowski now has got to throw it long just to get a 1st down. He needs 17. He takes a look. The guy jumped right over him. He throws hard, but not nearly enough. He only got back the lost yardage to be 4th and 10. Dennis Pearson and Wallace Francis in the game. Francis caught the ball. Is it also a penalty marker down, John, as this Denver defense starts to take control?
Well, you don't want to get yourself in a 15-yard situation when you're playing Denver, because very few people have ever picked it up against them. I've seen several times, well, the Raiders, when they have lost to Denver, have been in that same situation where they've got to throw the ball a lot, where they're 3rd and 15. And when you're in that situation, you're liable to get run right out of the ballpark. Atlanta has stayed away from that so far today. This is the one drive where they've lost yards a few times when it looked as if they might need a big play. And now with 25 yards to go, I don't think they have a play in their repertoire.
Called the hold on a 2nd-year tackle, Mike Ken, number 78. He was the Falcons' #1 draft choice a year ago out of Michigan. Red Miller and all his guys looking on now.
Again, I think this is an indicator. You know, a lot of teams would have taken 4th down and 10 yards to go, and I'm sure Atlanta would have punted. But Red Miller doesn't want to get that bad field position. He'd rather let his defense hold him. See which way it works out. Glad I don't have to make the decision.
Lehman Bennett's thinking now, what do I do here? And there's Red Miller across the way, his counterpart. Next Saturday, Major League Baseball covers the race down the stretch. Winners tell jokes, losers say deal. Red's over there laughing.
He's laughing most of the time. I think that's the attitude that he's conveyed to the whole group. You know, you don't have to be serious about your work. You just have to do it well.
That's it. And here's the baseball lineup for next Saturday at 2:15 Eastern Time. The Pittsburgh Pirates go against the Cubs at Wrigley Field in Chicago. The Minnesota Twins against the Milwaukee Brewers at County Stadium. Consult your local listings for the game and time in your area. And don't forget, NBC Sports will bring you all the action of the National and American League Championship Series. Exclusive coverage starts in the first week of October. We have a break in the action here at Atlanta, Georgia. 11:34. They're running the clock down now. They want to get time set up. They got it down to 11:30 and it's still running. Now they start at 11:29. So Atlanta will come out of the huddle with a 3rd and long yardage to go. It'll be 3rd and about 25 for the Falcons. This could be the time for the Big Ben play. They use one every game.
They're going to try it.
He's open. Didn't get the 1st down. Alfred Jenkins. Defense was playing so deep. He took him down a little.
No, but he got it to where he's got 4th down and 5 yards to go, and Bartkowski's arm has totally impressed me as he went back to throw the ball. This ball has to get there in a hurry because there's a lot of people down the field ready to converge on it. He puts it right where he should. If they've got a good play right now that they think they can execute, a good 5-yard play, you can bet they're going to have a go at it, and that decision may backfire on Mr. Miller.
Well, they say, John, when he came here as a rookie from Cal at Berkeley, as the #1 draft choice in the league, he threw a football 100 yards. They told him if he ever did it again, they'd fine him $500.
Yeah, well, this is the biggie right here.
4th down and 5 for the Falcons. They trail 17-10 in the 4th quarter. 10:37 to play in it. Bartkowski gets time. And it's incomplete. He was looking at Francis, who was turning in. Jenkins was in the same area. The rush was strong. Foley was covering. And so the Denver defense holds, and the Broncos, leading by 7, take over the ball.
That was one of the few balls that I think Bartkowski would like to have had back, because he, you know, I can see a lot better from up here. He had no one open. He would like to have gone back in the huddle and tried a different play.
And we'll be back at Atlanta in a moment.
A minute ago, 4th down, 5 yards to go. Bartkowski calls this pass down the field. Now, it looked like a poorly thrown ball, but with good camera coverage, you can see that just as he was about to let the ball go, defenders got in his vision. When that happens, you've got to let the ball get up top, get over the top. Denver now has the ball. Looked like a poor throw. He had nowhere to go.
And now the Broncos go to the clock control, ball control game. Although that play lost 2 yards, they go to the run. Brezina came up to fill on the play, as the carry by Rob Lytle only got about to the 34-yard line. They're going to mark it down there. It'll be a loss of a yard. And there's a player shaken up for Atlanta. Jets now have opened up a 14-point lead over Detroit in the 4th quarter at Shea Stadium, 24-10. Jets looking for their first win. So are the Detroit Lions. They're not going to get it today, it wouldn't appear. New England leading Cincinnati, and there's the Philadelphia score, 19-7 over New Orleans. Baltimore and Cleveland 10-10 in the 3rd quarter. Browns rallying back from a 10-0 deficit.
Every week they play a Hummer.
Sipe can win. At halftime, Tampa Bay leads Green Bay.
And I think right now it's 2nd down, about 11 yards to go. They've got the ball in their own territory. We have stated so many times that Atlanta's trying to get to doing anything to stop Denver at this point. I don't think Denver's going to throw the ball, and it'll make it that much easier for Atlanta.
Second down and 11 now for the Broncos. They have a 17-10 lead in the 4th quarter. Stands in, lets it rip long. Dolbin is out there. What a pair of hands. Jack Dolbin catches the football.
Well, as I said, I didn't think they'd throw the ball. They do. It's good for about 52 yards. And you can see what Atlanta's trying to do is put pressure on what they expect. They expect Denver to run the ball. It's their pattern. Weiss is going back. Miller is calling the plays, however. He throws a pretty good pass, but Dolbin makes a great reception. Man. A one-on-one situation, all quarterbacks want to go down the field.
A good hands man, Jack Dolbin, a 5th-year man from Wake Forest, doesn't get a lot of playing time. They've gone to him just once today, but it was a play that conceivably could result in the deciding points in this football game.
Well, he and Upchurch, you know, they change, and a lot of times when you're going to throw it, you want to have Rick in there. Dolbin can do it too.
Rob Lytle turns upfield, and now Denver's offensive line blasts out. Coming off the snap of the ball quickly, they advance it down to the 15-yard line. Lytle on the carry. McCartney made the stop, but Denver, with good defensive play, starts to take control here in the 4th quarter. 8:47 to play in it, and the clock running. John?
Well, I think the big play, and it's not too hard to see. I think when it was very surprising that Red Miller called the play that he did call at the time he did, not only to me but also to Atlanta, and they have to regroup right at the moment, or Denver's very liable to run this ball right in without putting it in the air.
That's a good illustration of Denver's different philosophy in this game. Before they to run the ball right up the gut, now they go to the pass, and it worked. They go back to the run now. Jensen carries and hits inside the 15-yard line. Already they're in field goal position for Jim Turner. They've got lots of downs left to work with. There was a 4-yard pickup, almost 5 on that carry. And the clock winds down to 8 minutes. Looking at some of the Denver Broncos statistics here in the game, Weiss has thrown the ball 13 times, has completed 9 for 168 yards. Upchurch with 3 receptions for 39 yards. Haven Mosen with 2 for 50. Nobody has a lot of yards running the ball. Jensen has the most. 3rd down and a short 5. Weiss looks, people turn out, throws it away. Row C.
Don't try to make something good out of something bad when you've already got him on the ropes. Now, this is, from this distance, Turner's about as dependable as anybody kicking the football. Oh, yeah, those defensive backs and wide receivers do get into a few conversations.
Norris Weiss. He's got the great attitude. They pulled him in the LA game. Craig Morton directed the Broncos to a go-ahead touchdown, and Morton, of course, was sacked. Reynolds ran it in for the deciding touchdown. Weiss said, hey, I wasn't moving the team. That's all right. I'm going to try to move next time out. Here's the field goal attempt. Turner leans into it and drills it through. Is it wide?
Oh, it's wide.
It's wide. Well, the Falcons aren't done yet. With 7:30 left to play, they'll get back the ball. Jim Turner is wide on pretty much a point-blank field goal attempt.
Not much doubt as to what Atlanta has to do. They've got to put the ball in the air. Bartkowski's doing it about as well as anybody has against Denver in quite a long time. We'll see what happens.
Here is Jim Turner's kick. We'll be back when Atlanta has the ball in a moment. NG. Atlanta trailing 17-10 here at Fulton County Stadium has backed the ball as Turner missed the field goal for Denver. So now the Bronco defense is back out, and Bartkowski's going to have to try to get through it. He's going to start throwing. Hard in the flat. Mitchell takes it on a turnout. Out of bounds, says the official on top of the play.
Okay, Bart's going back. I think everybody in the house knows what he's going to do. It's the sort of situation you don't like to be in, particularly against Denver. Mitchell just got to moving a little too fast. He didn't want to come to him originally. By the time he came back, he'd already run out of room.
Bartkowski comes into the game with excellent statistics. 59% completion mark through the first 2 games. Last year, he was on the bench at the outset of the season. June Jones started. Falcons started off 1-3. They finished 8-4 with Bartkowski as their starter. Swing pass, a little too high. William Andrews, 5.3 yards a rush average coming into the game, will drop down after this one.
You know, he's got 41 yards on 19 carries. As we see, there's a flag down on the play.
Defensive holding. It'll be a first down for the Atlanta Falcons. Bartkowski just a yard short of another 200-yard passing game.
You know, I'll get to it in a second.
Number 63, defense.
You know, people say statistics really do indicate so much. Sometimes I feel they lie. I'll get back to it after we watch Grant trying to make a good rush on Bartkowski. Look at the protection he's getting. Now, I know he couldn't have anticipated this kind of protection throughout the day that his offensive line has given him, but it's going to have to maintain itself.
The ball is out to the 25. They go to Andrews. He's just not there as Larry Evans shoots the gap and hits him. Evans has played very well in place of Tom Jackson. He's usually not much less than great when he's in there.
Well, you have a team with a lot of depth. When you give them a chance to play, they can do it. You know, I was talking about statistics again. If you take, I think the best indicator to me is the fellow that has the worst statistics in the National Football League for a quarterback over the past 3 years. The lowest rating in the AFC is Zorn, and he's got to be one of the best quarterbacks. So they can be overrated.
Good point. 2nd down and 10. Bartkowski, moving pocket. He better set up. He lets her go.
Oh, my goodness.
Wallace Francis extends those hands, catches the football, moves across the 35-yard line, and he has a first down for Atlanta.
Now, that is the best throw that I have seen all year.
Is that right?
We mentioned that running to the left and throwing the ball back is the hardest thing to do. But look what happens. He gets caught. He's got his man coming around. He has thrown the ball back against the grain of his body, hits Francis on the perfect dead run. Rizzo had him pretty well covered, and they still get a first down. That's showing you something.
Yeah, that impresses me. It's the best one you've seen all year. 16-22 now. Bartkowski pitch back. Ricky Patton tries to turn the corner. And those tough cornerbacks who have to submarine the sweep blocking. That was Foley who came in, upended the blocker and the ball carrier.
Well, you know, if you're a cornerback, you better get to them before they get to you. He read it quickly and did his job. Philadelphia seems to be reading New Orleans pretty quickly, too.
A little more subdued than usual at Bourbon Street tonight. Saints taking gas for a third week in a row. Eagles rebounding from that Monday night loss. Second and 11. Bartkowski looks, swings it out. Andrews catches the ball. He's hemmed in, and there's a penalty marker coming in as Andrews goes down while crossing the 35. Bronco players are signaling clipping.
Well, with that new rule where you have to hit them above the waist, you know, if you're downfield and or cracking back, you really have very little room to go.
Talk this one over, and with good reason. With 5:12 left to play, it's a 17-10 game. Atlanta trying to sustain this drive, get points up, perhaps tie the game. They've got a long way to go. Remind you again tonight, a great NBC special, Bob Hope on the road to China, a 3-hour television special filmed some time ago in the People's Republic of China. It features, in addition to Bob Hope, Crystal Gale, Shields and Yarnell, Big Bird from Sesame Street. That's from 8 to 11 tonight on NBC. The options are being presented now to defensive captain Randy Gradishar. So it's going to go against Atlanta. New England extending its lead now to 20-7 over Cincinnati.
Number 84, illegally blocking downfield. Offense.
He's out for Jenkins.
Sometimes it's hard just to stay out of the way. This is the play. It's on Alfred Jenkins. He's trying to get around Louis Wright. Now he's trying to get back on Larry Evans. Sometimes they're right. Sometimes you got to question it.
Yeah. Alfred, 160 pounds. He's out there hitting everybody. Swing pass goes to Andrews. Lost the handle, and another penalty marker goes down. John Smith has kicked a couple of field goals for the Patriots. They up their lead to 20-7 at Cincinnati over the Bengals. Jets have now opened up a 31-10 lead over Detroit. Kevin Long ran in for his third touchdown of the game, 5 yards out.
Illegal motion. Number 78, offense, decline.
Mike Ken illegally in motion from the left tackle spot for Atlanta. The game clock shows 5 minutes and 7 seconds left to play. This is Don Criqui with John Brody at Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium.
And we're watching Red Miller talking with Whitey DeVell, the guy that was down in Baltimore. People have said throughout the league that he might be the best offensive coach, line coach in the game. He's got Denver's offensive line playing good football today.
Well, he left Baltimore, and the first thing he did when Denver hired him, talked about a free agent, David Studdard, who's a starter now. And here is Bartkowski. There is the long ball. Francis is out there. So are a lot of Broncos up in the air. Nearest to it on the final play was Larry Evans, a linebacker who can run. He's downfield with the wide receivers in the corners.
They don't have anybody out there in the secondary or in the linebacker crew that can't run anymore in this league. But the impressive thing is that he can put the ball right where he wanted it to be thrown. There were 5 defensive guys around it when it came down, and Denver seems now to be up to the task.
John James has done a big job. Punted the ball 3 times, averaging 48 yards a punt. And right now, the Broncos are sending back 3 receivers. They have Upchurch in the middle, as back at his 10-yard line is James. Hit the ball about the 15. It's another good one. Coverage is down.
That ball hit somebody. I don't know, but it took a funny bounce.
The Broncos will get the football. 1st and 10, and they lead the game 17-10. They scored the first time they had the ball today, went 88 yards. Atlanta came right back. It looked like a last-at-bat game, but now defenses have tightened up in the second half. We come back. Atlanta will have the defense out. Denver leading 17-10. Ready to go to the action again. Denver Broncos will have the ball with a 17-10 lead in good field position. They'll have it at their 49-yard line. John?
I don't think you're going to see it in the air again. The last time I said that, I think they threw for about 54 yards on one play. But
I'll go along with you. I don't think you'll see it in the air again either. They want to run that clock. I think that guys in there don't fumble very often. And one who fumbles the least is in the game for the first time. Larry Canada comes in to run the ball.
He's the only guy I know that's on a football team. They use him as a run out the clock specialist, getting first downs. I saw him do that 3 or 4 times last year. He has more brute strength, I think, than any running back in the National Football League, and they use him in times just such as these, and very effectively.
Well, you're referring to that wealth of running backs they have, enough that they cut their leading rusher from a year ago, Lonnie Perrin, before the first game. Norris Weiss, good control at quarterback. Has not made the big mistake and has made a lot of big plays for Denver. Rob Lytle turns wide. Frank Reed comes up and plays the run. A strong safety up on the line of scrimmage.
Well, that's everybody in the house figures Denver's going to run. Now they've got a 9-man front up there. When you get those little backs with the 2s on their shoulders making stops behind the line of scrimmage, you know they're not doing much to stop the pass. It's stop before they get to the line.
3:39 left to play in the game. Rick Danmeyer just kicked a field goal, and Minnesota leads Miami 12-7 in the 4th quarter. He's got 4 field goals today, Danmeyer. Delvin Williams got the only Miami score. 3rd down and 12 for Denver. Not going to get there. Upchurch makes a play on the ball in front of the Falcon bench. He's not going to get any help there.
Not down here.
So now Prestridge comes back out. They cut the regular punter, actually traded him to Baltimore. Bucky Dilson put in this big Luke Prestridge, who's 6'4", 235, rookie from Baylor. He first came up, one of the guys said, you know, the guy as big as you should have played something else besides just punter, did you? And he said, yeah, baseball. How he punted. Pearson is back, and he's back alone. The Falcons are going to try to block it. They've got speed on either flank. Reed will come in from the right side, and Bias, who can block him, is coming in. But Prestridge gets it away, not too well. You don't know what's going to happen when it hits down, though. Is it knuckleball kick, and it's going to go down inside the 20, so he did his job well. National Football League action moving into the 4th weekend of play next Sunday here on NBC. At 12:30 Eastern Time, San Diego plays at New England, and Mike Adamle the host.
And here we go, balls in the air, 1st and 10.
Atlanta needs big plays now as the clock shows 3:09 to play, and Denver leads the game 17-10. Long ball. Boy, Bartkowski's got a gun. Jenkins is out there. He's got the football. Shelford Jenkins took the football away. I don't believe it. They'll have you up and screaming here, John.
Well, this crowd has been very quiet since the end of the 3rd quarter because Denver has shut Atlanta down. Bartkowski threw that right into a totally covered situation. You've got to count on people to come up with big plays. He's done it a little. He did it one time earlier in the ball game. But look at this throw. Jenkins is going down the field, and he's right in the middle. Steve Foley's got the play all the way. Somehow Jenkins gets the ball to pop up a little bit. Jenkins comes down with it, and Atlanta's got it on the 24.
A most amazing little man, Alfred Jenkins, gives the big play with Bartkowski, and now the Falcons are challenging. They're up and standing and cheering here at Atlanta. The give goes, and the run isn't for much. As the Broncos again fill nicely on defense. Ricky Patton's getting a lot of calls now, as Denver came in thinking they could stop William Andrews, and for the most part they've done it, excepting the first series of downs when Atlanta had the ball and went for a touchdown.
You see Bartkowski calling timeout because the strategy does change a bit. Now you've got 4 downs to pick up a first down. This is the last time that Atlanta realistically can expect to be in any sort of scoring position.
That's right.
They would like to take all of the last 2 minutes, not giving Denver any chance to get into field goal position if they do tie it. They know they can't kick a field goal. You can file that possibility. Right now, Lehman Bennett is talking with Bartkowski. Over the course of a game, I'm sure that Steve has been talking to his receivers. They've thrown the ball enough so that a lot of things have exposed themselves. I'm sure that they've got some plays that they think are good in this situation. The fortunate part is that a big play put them in this situation. Now they have a lot to talk about. Prior to this, all he had to do was put it up in the air and hope something good happened. It did, and I think there are a lot of people in Atlanta that wonder if it'll ever stop.
Go to New York for NFL 79, but we've got a long way to go, not on the clock, but with strategies and the way they're able to use it. And there's nobody better than you, John, in your years at doing it.
Thank you, but I think there were a lot of guys, most of the players after they played a few years can use that clock, and I think the key to using it effectively is not to be too concerned with it. You always have a little more time than you think you have, and I really think that's what they were talking about when Bartkowski was on the sideline.
The noise starts up again now. It is 2nd down and 8 for Atlanta. Denver on defense, moving the defense around. 3 down linemen. Broncos lead the game 17-10. Bartkowski looks into the end zone. He throws too much on it. Patton was a safety valve on the right flank, and a good rush. Chavis was on the play, and Latimer was coming strong up the middle.
Well, Chavis was a little upset, Don, but I don't know why, because he was the one that caused Bartkowski to throw it over the head of his intended receiver, Ricky Patton. Now, had he not made the play that he did make, Bartkowski would have picked up another first down inside the 10-yard line. So his offensive line gave him great protection. Credit the secondary. They covered everybody like a blanket.
Still in the lead. Looking for a score that could tie up the game. The Denver Broncos, with their brilliant defense on the field now, have Atlanta with a 3rd and 8 coming at him, and there's Red Miller.
And Red has never lost 2 regular season games in a row. You know he's a bit concerned at this point. 3rd down, everybody in the stadium standing.
So are we, as we have 3rd down coming up. Bartkowski with 2 men set to the left. Dennis Pearson is wide to the right. 3-man rush. They give Bartkowski time into the end zone. Francis, touchdown Falcons. What a football game.
You didn't even have to look for the receiver in the end zone. When Bartkowski saw it, he reacted so fast to throwing it just on the perfect break. Francis made a break against the double coverage. He came open just long enough. Bartkowski was following him the whole way. 17-16. Mazzetti's job is to tie it up.
Hey, I've been to this stadium a number of times. Every time by the end of the game, they reduce you to a screaming, blithering idiot.
You can tell he's looking. You can tell before you see the receiver come open that Bartkowski knows he's got him if he gets it there in time. Francis runs a great pattern. Defense doesn't quite make it. I don't know when it's going to stop in Atlanta, but I don't think these people care if it ever happens.
They've not got it one yet, and the mixologist will have to deliver here. And high snap, but Mazzetti steps in. James with a good hold, and we have a tie football game with 1:51 left to play.
I told you the fans are with you, win or tie. They did get to a tie.
I tell you, they are something, these guys. And so is Denver, and they're going to get the ball back with 1:51 to go. Let us not forget that. Now the whole tenor of Atlanta, Georgia has changed from quiet to
Let me show you
bedlam.
Something else. It could quiet down real quick. I don't know if Rick Upchurch is in there, but generally in a critical part of the ball game, you're going to see number 80 back receiving kickoff. They know a big play is needed. They've got 1 minute and 51 seconds to do it. And this ball game is not into overtime by a long shot.
Watch how Mazzetti puts the ball down. He has a weird way of... Well, now he's got it upright. Sometimes he leans it way back. He'll hit it different ways.
Well, he's caught between a rock and a hard spot right now. He doesn't want to kick it on the side of his foot, kick a grounder, and give him the ball at midfield or 40-yard line. On the other hand, his alternative is to kick it to Upchurch.
That's some alternative. He hits it well. Downfield, it's going to carry down to the 2. Bernard Jackson takes it out. Special teams are there, and Atlanta hems in Bernard Jackson, and the Broncos going offense in their 16. John?
And credit Mazzetti, because that was a very difficult play to make. To kick the ball to Bernard Jackson, Upchurch has about a 40-yard range where he could have received it.
Here's Bartkowski having perhaps his greatest day as a professional.
This is how it happened. I mean, the impressive thing is the way he's doing it. He's taking one of the best defenses in the game, throwing into double coverage, and hitting his receiver right on the money with less than 2 minutes to play. Now, he's had a great day up until now. That's just capping that baby off. He's through for almost 300 yards. Before it's over, that may be there.
18 of 28 for Bartkowski, 289 yards and 2 touchdowns. Norris Weiss is 9 of 15 for 168 yards. Broncos go to the run. The ball is out to the 20, and the clock continues to run. 137, 136 to play.
I was trying to allude to the fact also, Don, that who made the play was Mazzetti by kicking it in a great spot, giving his team to get under coverage to handle Jackson. What it's done is it's created a totally different viewpoint for Denver. They're not going to come out of their shell right now. They're going to say, okay, let's go into overtime, see if we, unless something real good happens to Denver, they're going to play it for a tie because they're in a bad position.
Good point. Got to see it run out and get a punt away. Now Weiss is going to drop the throw. Oop, it's going to be short. And the clock stopped with 59 seconds to play. That'll bring up 3rd and 8.
It kind of surprised me. Edgar Fields got a real good piece of Norris Weiss just as he went to throw the ball. So if it looked like he wasn't throwing to anyone, that's why.
On the sideline, pacing up and down is number 4, Tim Mazzetti, who led all NFC field goal kickers with 13 of 16 last year. And the pressure situations were the times when he excelled. 59 seconds left to play. The Denver Broncos break the huddle. Haven Moses comes out wide to the left. We have a 17-17 game here in Atlanta. Norris Weiss sets himself on 3rd down and 7.
Left guard pulls. That's what happens when you get into those sort of situations, and you don't expect it from Paul Howard. Just got a little bit anxious. You can see him flinch right up in the top of your screen. Number 60, they move it back 5 more. 59 seconds left, but you can see the concern on Red Miller's face pretty well indicates it.
Number 60, offense.
So now the pressure is really on Norris Weiss and the Denver offense as they have 3rd down and 12 coming up. They don't make this one work, they're going to have to punt the ball back, and Atlanta will have time to get in field goal range. 3rd and 12. The ball at the 17-yard line, 16-yard line. Weiss throws, takes a look down the middle. Haven Moses is open and catches the ball and loses it. Free football. It might go. It's ruled an incomplete pass.
I think that's what they will do.
Wow. Haven Moses looked like he had it for a moment, but the official right there said not long enough. But now Denver must punt the ball back to Atlanta, and Atlanta could get good field position with 52 seconds to play. Here it is, John.
Well, they're trying to make a big play. He's got the ball across the 1st down line. Moses comes up with an awful lot of big plays, but Rick Bias ripped the ball out of his grasp, and as he came down, they thought it was a fumble. However, the officials sit in a much better place to see it. As Frank Reed ran it in, did all for naught.
So now there's a lot of pressure on the rookie Prestridge. He doesn't have a big average today, 39 yards.
He'll settle for 39 right now.
I guess he will. Dennis Pearson is standing back at the Atlanta 47. 52 seconds to play. Big rush. Prestridge gets it away. Here's Pearson at midfield. He fair caught the ball. All right, he says, I don't want to fool with these guys coming down. They might hit you.
You bet. I'll tell you, that punt was about 34 yards in total, and every few yards is very important at this part of the ball game. 45 seconds left. You've got the ball at midfield, and you've got everything going your way too.
45 seconds left to play in the game. At halftime it was tied 10-10. The 3rd quarter, an errant snap from center put John James in poor position on a punt. He had it down the ball, and then Denver took it in for the go-ahead points. Atlanta rallied back with Bartkowski throwing to Wallace Francis for the tying touchdown. And now Atlanta looks for the field goal. Here's the rush. Bartkowski drills the ball. First down inside the 35 into the 34. And the clock is stopped at 37 seconds. Atlanta calls a timeout.
That's pretty good coverage he threw against, but what gave him the time is his offensive line. I mean, you can say a lot of things about a lot of people, but Mike Kinn, Dave Scott, Jeff Van Note, Howell, Bryant, these guys are holding people off Bartkowski. It's one thing to get enough time to throw. It's another to be able to stand up and look straight downfield with nobody in your vision.
Wallace Francis is having an all-pro day. 7 receptions, 117 yards, and a touchdown.
He's had a lot of them. Well, I like the way these receivers, and they throw a lot to their receivers, the way they get in between linebackers. I don't know if this is the way it's been going back here in Atlanta for the past 8 or 9 months, but if it is, I'd sure like to come back.
Well, Mazzetti getting set on the sidelines. He likes this situation. He'll need more distance than this, though. He's not a long field goal kicker. You give him the 40-yard shot, he's not going to miss too many, though.
That's right. They know exactly what they feel they need. They think they need about 12 or 13 more yards. That'll do a couple things. It'll get him off of that infield dirt, which makes it a little tougher on a kicker, and it'll also get him well within Mazzetti's range where he doesn't have to press anything. They're a little out of his range at the moment because he has never kicked one more than 43 yards.
Now let's see what the Denver Bronco defense can do as they have to meet the challenge from Atlanta. First down and 10, Falcons, time of the essence, 37 seconds to play. Still coming with a 3-man rush. Bartkowski's got time. He's got a man open. Wallace Francis again. He's all the way down to the 13-yard line.
I'll tell you, that's doing it. I don't know any other expression to make. I don't think the people in Denver have never seen anybody do this to their defense when it had to be done.
Well, this kid's
the
great.
Denver defense has had it their way for the last 2 years in critical situations. Their best players are all in there. And I mean, this man is picking them apart.
He is a fastball thrower. Boy, he comes to that high, hard one time and again, and right between the numbers. The 8 and 9 he's been hitting pretty regularly.
People have said he's not very mobile back in the pocket, but if you've noticed, he's just stepping around at will back there. And he's hitting number 89 just about any time he likes, 8 for 137. This is not a big day for him. He caught 33 balls in the preseason.
That's right, he did. Now there's Lehman Bennett. Who said at the outset, we think we'll find a way to win against anybody. They've been doing it this year.
I agree with this. They're not fiddling around. They could get any sort of a penalty. You never know what can happen. When opportunity presents itself, you do 2 things. Number 1, you let the kicker go out there and kick and quit fiddling around. Do it right now.
We'd like to welcome all of you who've been watching other games on NBC. This is Don Criqui with John Brody. We're in Atlanta, Georgia. We are in the closing seconds of the game, 22 seconds to play. The Falcons have rallied back from a 17-10 deficit to Denver. They have tied the game. And now Tim Mazzetti, the famous free agent place kicker, is trying a field goal that could win the game. It's on the way, and it's not good. The Denver Broncos signal it is wide. So we could go to overtime. We have 17 seconds on the regulation clock, and this game could go to overtime. Earlier, Jim Turner was wide with a field goal.
You didn't even have to watch the ball. You can watch his reaction. It's close, but it's outside all the way. Mazzetti knows he didn't get it quite as cleanly as he would like. This baby's going to go into overtime.
So Tim Mazzetti gets his chance, and the Broncos get a break. They have the ball back, and then in all probability, we're going to go to overtime here in Atlanta.
Well, unless somebody can score 3 points in 17 seconds from 80 yards out, we're going into overtime. I don't think you'll see much action.
Norris Weiss is going to probably take his winnings, such as they are, and go to the overtime. Larry Canada busts up the middle. Gets the ball out across the 35-yard line. Nobody calling timeouts. Now we have one.
I think he just called timeout that time to find out if Red wanted to try anything or not. You know, one good pass interference penalty and the whole game changes. This stadium has become deathly quiet.
Tampa Bay is for real this year. They're en route to the 3rd win of the year, perhaps, as they're out in front of the Green Bay Packers 21-3 now in the 3rd quarter. Ricky Bell ran 19 yards for a touchdown, and he caught one earlier from Doug Williams.
Doug Williams is going to be some kind of quarterback. He doesn't have a very high percentage average, but that really matters very little. They know when he's in there, things seem to happen pretty well. He can throw the ball, he can throw any type of pass, and I think you're going to see a lot of Tampa Bay because of the way he comes on. They're on the sideline discussing it, but I doubt that you'll see much happen because I think from this distance, more can happen bad than good, Don.
Well, we'll have a brief rest, and then we'll have a flip of a coin, and we'll do it all over again.
It looks like that's the way it's going to go. 9 seconds left.
Weiss can let it rip. He's going to throw the home run ball. Bias intercepts. This isn't over yet. He's got to run it. He's got some blockers.
Got to run it in, though.
Didn't do it. Out of bounds. We go to overtime in Atlanta as regulation ends with the Denver Broncos 17, the Atlanta Falcons 17.
30 against the Denver Broncos for over 300 yards throwing the ball. That's as good a performance as I have ever seen. This is not a game where either team's defense has played poorly. It's been a ball control type offensive situation. Both teams have had to move the ball downfield. There haven't been many turnovers in the game. Each team's offense had to create its own points, and it's as well a played game as I've seen in an awfully long time. I mean, we're talking about Bartkowski. All we've got to do is look on the other side of the ledger, and we've got Norris Weiss, who's got 9 for 17 for 168 yards. That's if you're interested in stats, but he's made a lot of big plays that didn't have anything to do with throwing the ball. So both sides have played very well, and it's been very entertaining.
While it is in the air.
This is an important part of an overtime. The coin toss.
You won the toss.
Yes, sir. Take that football, Bill Thompson
Won
says.
the toss and will receive. Good luck.
Can't score without it.
Now, it's interesting, John. You look at the history of games in overtime. The team that gets possession first often wins them. At the end of regulation play, the score at Atlanta is the Falcons 17, the Denver Broncos 17. Will return with sudden deck action in a moment after these messages from your local station.
Extremely well played game. That one high snap's about the only real exchange, the only real turnover that the whole game has presented.
So Tim Mazzetti ready to kick it off now. Denver will have the football as we start overtime here in Atlanta. A high spinning kick. Chris Payne comes up and takes the ball. Across the 20, looks for room and gets it out across the 25. So the ball is out to the 28-yard line, and there the Broncos go on offense, 1st and 10. Let's see what Norris Weiss and the Bronco offense can do now. 1st and 10 at their 28. Coming out pitching. Coming out running. He's got plenty. Norris Weiss is ahead for 8 yards to the 36-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 3.
Hey, he's picking on some big cats. That Pennywell is a big fella, and Edgar Fields has made a lot of penetration all day long on him, and he just runs it time after time for 7 and 8 yards.
Jack Dolben, who made that great reception, you'll recall, early in the 4th quarter, is out wide to the left. Haven Moses in the slot, and they go to the run straight up the middle. Broncos looking to grind out the 1st down. It appears that Canada straight ahead got it. Larry Canada got the ball out to the 39-yard line. It's a 1st down for Denver. Big guy did his job, goes back up. We are in overtime at Atlanta. Cleveland has now come from behind and leads Baltimore 13-10 with 1:51 left to play on a Don Cockcroft field goal.
How many times?
3 this season. Cleveland's come from behind. Weiss looks, timing pattern in the flat. Haven Moses has the football. Tries to turn upfield against Rick Bias, cannot. Gain of about 5 in the play, though.
He's thrown that ball well, though. That's a pattern that takes timing. It takes a lot of practice, and he throws it quickly. He gets the ball off so that when the receiver turns around and looks for it, it's just about there. Doesn't throw it very hard. It doesn't look too cute, but it gets there at just the right time.
Big thing it gets there, and that did for a 5-yard gain, almost 6. 2nd down and a long 4. This time Norris Weiss sends 2 wide receivers to the right. Haven Moses, he's been in motion a lot today. Throwing changeup to the defense. Give goes to Jim Jensen. Looks to turn the corner. Falcons are there. They make some big hits. Well short of a first down. It'll bring up a crucial third down play now for Denver. McClain was on the hit along with Robin Lawrence.
These guys that, you know, the Falcon defense has been a little bit hurt, you know, as far as their front line players are concerned. And yet guys like Mike Lewis and Yates and Fields, we've seen an awful lot of them today, and they've got to be commended because they haven't done the fancy things they're used to doing, and they've still played well.
Generally, it's been an extremely well-played game. And right now, it's third down and about 4 for Denver. Overtime. We're in overtime at Atlanta at 17-17. Weiss swings, throws. Ball is caught for a first down by Haven Moses. That same pattern you were talking about, John.
At the time, it was a blitzing situation. That's the only alternative the quarterback has.
First down and 10. The Broncos are across midfield. Straight ahead give. Power run gets the ball down close to the 45-yard line. Not much more. Canada comes back in. That was Keyworth that ran the ball. He goes right out, alternating the big backs.
You can bet when Weiss comes to the line of scrimmage, he's going to see if that short little out to the flanker is open again. Now it's funny, but they watched Atlanta play Philadelphia the week before, and many people have said Carmichael could have caught 15 balls outside on the corners. They have exploited it some, but only in key situations. This is a certain key. I don't think it's going to be open on this play.
Second down and 7 for the Broncos. Weiss takes a look in the flat. The hard hit is put on Rob Lytle, but there was yardage on the play for the Broncos as they have the ball down to the 40-yard line of Atlanta.
Same area, different pattern. Cleared out with the flanker back, and he goes to their halfback. Lytle on just a simple little check-off pattern.
They're giving Weiss some good time to throw the ball.
You bet, but he gets rid of the ball quick. He helps his offensive linemen as well as they help him.
They said the problem he was having against Los Angeles, he wasn't setting up. His feet were still moving when he was delivering the ball. They corrected that a week and a half they've had off. Third down and 2. Weiss gets time, throws, caught, first down. Haven Moses again, and he's not done yet. Haven Moses is all the way down to the 11-yard line. Here we go, John.
I think we may have given you a wrong score. We'll get to that in a second. But anyway, Haven Moses makes a big play, and we will notice both field goal kickers have missed an important kick in this game. If you can get that baby in the end zone, no kick is necessary. Let's take a look at excellent camera coverage. Riley Odom's trying to clean out so Moses has a place to look back to the quarterback and see a direct line. Odoms helps out after Moses catches the ball, and he makes a great big play almost down to the 10-yard line.
It's gotten a little more quiet in Atlanta, but they're up and yelling. You can bet in Denver, Colorado, where right now the Broncos have a challenge mounted here in overtime. Here is the handoff. Rob Lytle takes the ball down to the 10-yard line, and most importantly for the Broncos, he advanced it to the middle of the field. So Turner has pretty much of a set-up field goal attempt. The ball is down to the 10-yard line, and you were talking earlier, John, you wouldn't fool around with handoffs and trying to get a little bit closer. You'd rather just see if it's in range, go out and take it.
I'm not the coach. That's his decision to make, and I think it's about 50-50 as to how do players feel about it. I have seen teams in this position run out of field goal range. They'll do nothing to take that chance if they can help it, but sometimes you can't help it.
Second and 8 for the Broncos. Straight ahead run. They get a little bit more. Jim Jensen takes the ball down to the 8-yard line.
Here we go again. Miami is now taking a 13-12 lead over Minnesota in the fourth quarter. Still 13 minutes to play.
Now they're going to listen to you down there. They're sending Turner out. Third down.
I don't think they really cared what I thought. And Baltimore is getting beaten by Cleveland 13-10. Time running out in the fourth quarter in that game.
Baltimore threatening.
And here is Jim Turner.
Let's see if Atlanta uses one of their timeouts. You get 2 each team in overtime in regular season. That's going to do it. That will be the football game. The Denver Broncos win it as Jim Turner drives through a sudden death field goal. After missing one earlier, Jim Turner delivers in the clutch, and the Denver Broncos win their second game of the year. And the Atlanta Falcons, who fought them for 4 quarters and more, go down to their first defeat after 2 straight wins. With John Brody, this is Don Criqui back at Denver, Colorado. 2 of the kickers talking it over. And we're going to watch the kick that decided the football game in overtime. Here it is, John.
Well, Jim Turner has to be thanking his lucky stars. It happened last year up in Seattle. He got a second try to kick a winning field goal. This time he got the same thing after missing one early in the second half. And what a sweet day it is when you get a reprieve.
The executive producer of NFL football on NBC is Don Ohlmeyer. As the final numbers are up, coordinating producer Ted Nathanson. Produced today by Larry Cirillo and directed by Harry Coyle. Associate Director John Filippelli. We'd like to thank our spotter Tim Cambias and Joe Willingham. For John Brody, this is Don Criqui. Glad you could be with us in Atlanta.